at the scenario at that time?
Indeed, it was a necessity. In fact, in hindsight, I'm sure 90 to 95% of the Gambians have no regrets. The writing was on the walls around 1994. It was clear then, Malik, there was some complacency in the whole administrative operations of the country. Now, it was then unfortunate that Gambians then, we are not enlightened as we were today. And I think it was a policy program of the then government to keep Gambians in the darkness without being informed so that they can make informed decisions. We had some very serious difficulties. We had escalating prices. We had carefree attitude to work, lack of commitment and policy programs for development. And at the same time, Gambia was unlike any other country in terms of lack of basic infrastructure for operations. So, and there was fragmentation within the ranks themselves. So it was timely. July 22nd was timely, and I think it was ordained by Allah the Almighty.
What precipitated July 22nd, 1994?
1994, we found ourselves in a situation that needed some radical intervention. And I can remember President Jammeh telling us at the time that, pointing out some of the obvious things at the time, that we are perhaps the only country within the sub-region that does not have a university. We're the only country in the sub-region at that time that did not have a television station. The only country within the sub-region that did not have the infrastructure to pave the way for development. And with a population growth rate of, I think, 4.5% per annum at that time, it was obvious that there needed to be some radical intervention. And apart from that, the political elite at the time had sort of been able to manipulate the electorate by keeping them ignorant and unaware of their rights. And therefore, the people did not know what to ask for. They did not know what they were entitled to. And July 22nd, 1994, the revolution led by His Excellency the President actually changed all of that. And it enlightened the people. But not only did it enlighten them through the media and through education, it enlightened them by showing them and giving them their rights. And not only their rights, but also the development and infrastructure to go with. I'm not sure whether you can recall on several occasions His Excellency the President has said that there can be no democracy without development. These two have to go hand in hand, and one without the other, cannot be called a true democracy. And therefore, it was seen at that time that we did not have a true democracy because the political elite and the government of that day were not true to the people. And this is what motivated the revolution, and this is why we are bearing the fruits of that revolution today.
Fatou Lamin Faye, as we celebrate July 22nd, the 18th anniversary, women become more prominent in the Gambia as a result of July 22nd.
In perspective, I would want to say that there has been great improvements in the lives of women in the Gambia. Women have never been part of the decision-making process in this country before 1994. Before 1994, you will agree with me that there was only one minister. And after 1994, we saw a complete turnaround. As we speak, 40% almost of the executive, by that I mean cabinet, are female, including the vice presidency. And we've held the vice presidency's position since 1996. I think that's a great achievement. We've now seen women in the army being generals, the top brass of the army, the women are there. Women are permanent secretaries, directors, you name it. And looking back, before 1994, not many women were even in the schools. Today is a different picture. We've attained gender parity at the lower basic and the upper basic levels, and we are about 47.3% at the senior secondary, which means we are almost there. So by 2015, inshallah, we will meet that Millennium Development Goal.
If there was no July 22nd, 1994,
we would have been in dire straits by now.
Indeed, Malik. Indeed, Malik. You know, the difference is, here we are with a committed leadership, you know, committed leadership with a vision. You know, it's what takes a man to move his country forward. And that was lacking then. So in the event that there was no July 22nd, I cannot imagine where we would be today.
Are women more motivated to take their role in the political situation in this country?
Women are more motivated to take their positions in terms of politics. But we still have a long way to go. As you know, women, if you look at those that are elected members of the National Assembly, you realize that there are, I think, only about 3 that are elected. The others were nominated, including the Deputy Speaker. But that's also an achievement. Before 1994, it wasn't like that. I would say very few were in the National Assembly. I can safely say 1. And that was Ajani Masata Sane Bojang.
She was parliamentary secretary.
Yes, so it's quite different. The scenario now is quite different. Women are braver. Women have more confidence in themselves to come out and participate as candidates in politics. But you will also realize that without the women, I don't think politics would have ticked. The men are there because of the women. And I think it's a great achievement. And we want to thank His Excellency the President for making us women believe in ourselves and come out and play